Our coverage continues of the terrible tragedy that played out in Washington, D.C. Last night. Our coverage does continue right here for you on Live Now from Fox. And we want to continue to really share more personal stories of this tragedy. Right now, we are learning more about one of the pilots on the American Airlines flight and his connection to Georgia. For more, we are joined by Fox 5 Atlanta reporter Eric Perry for the very latest, who you spoke to the aviator's father. Tell us what you learned here on this very, very sad story.
Yeah, Mike, I think this dad is still working to comprehend and come to grasp about his son there. He says his son is 28 years old, Sam Lilley, and says that he knew something was wrong when he never got a phone call back. And that's when he did some more digging there as well. Now he's just waiting in D.C. for more information.
You know, all this is a bitter pill to swallow.
Timothy Lilley is still trying to come to terms with the fact his son, Sam, will never land back home.
Last night when I saw on Fox News there was a crash in D.C., I really didn't think there was any way it was my son, but I started to do the research, and I realized that was his schedule to be on that flight. And then, you know, I got with his fiance and confirmed that. And then when it all came crashing down.
Timothy and the family have ties to Savannah, but was in New York at the time he learned the news. He raced to the scene of the crash, hoping for answers.
My driver had to get through a bunch of roadblocks just to get to the airport, you know. We had to keep explaining to every police officer along the way. And then when we finally got there, they took me to one of the American lounges, and they just had me fill out some forms and said, okay, we'll call you when we're ready for you.
He says his son started his flight training in 2019 and has been with PSA Airlines, which is a part of the American Airlines group, for 2 years. Sam was engaged to be married. This father and son duo shared a love for taking to the sky, as his dad was a military helicopter pilot for 20 years.
In the 90s, I used to fly in and out of the Pentagon regularly. And I can tell you, if you're flying on that route along the Potomac, if you're wearing night vision goggles, it's going to be very hard to see that airplane. If you're not wearing the goggles, it's going to be easier. You might have a chance.
It's an agonizing wait for answers for this father.
From what I can see from the video, those guys, they turned straight into the jet. You know, I think that the PSA jet was doing everything right. I think that the Army pilot made a grave error, which really hurts me because that is my brother's. And, you know, now my son is dead.
Yeah, such tough words there for that father there. We're also learning about a second connection here in Georgia in the metro Atlanta area. Hawk helicopter involved named Ryan O'Hara went to a Gwinnett County high school and graduated from there just a little bit outside Atlanta City Center. Parkview High School is where he graduated from. In a statement on X, Governor Brian Kemp paying his condolences to the families of both of those involved. But of course, our hearts go out to all of those involved here. But really, those families still working to comprehend, Mike, just exactly what happened last night.
Yeah, it's still so raw. I can't even imagine what these families are going through. And that father that you spoke with is just still in this early process of grieving right now. And for him to, you know, you see what's happening on the national news and you're thinking, oh no, this could be really bad for my son. It's terrible to think about how all of these families heard about it in such a devastating way.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, he says he was, in New York. He is still a pilot, an active pilot, and he was in New York watching the news. You saw what happened, of course. As a pilot, he hates to see everything that went on, and then he connected the dots and knew that that was his son's flight involved there. And then we saw a lot of the video coming out and having to watch that as a family member, and you're still waiting for answers on the ground there in D.C. So tough for the dozens of families involved.
So true. Eric Perry, thanks so much for giving us the father's story. We really appreciate it here on Live Now from Fox, as always. And what we will do